Hey guys, EBPMAN here, and what can I say? This is pretty spectacular. Today we're going to talk about 3D printing. We're going to talk about 3D printing stuff as cool as this, or maybe something as cool as this, or even something as cool as this. Today we're going to take a look at the Sidewinder X2. It has auto bed leveling and a whole bunch of improvements. Let's go ahead and check it out. Now, before taking a closer look at the fantastic prints that you're going to be able to get from the Artillery Sidewinder 2, what we're going to do is go over some of the specs so you can see what you can expect. The first thing is the print bed, obviously. You have a 300 by 300 by 400 millimeter bed, which is going to allow you to print things as large as this. And I had space to spare. So full cosplay helmets and also armor, things like that, and a lot of other 3D printing kind of stuff. You have automatic bed leveling, which is also going to make it really easy to get great prints. And you have a tempered glass platform, which things stick, right? And you can get great quality out of it. You also then have a temperature that it goes pretty high. That's going to give you a lot of flexibility when it comes to material, both the nozzle and the bed. So you're looking at 240 C for the nozzle, that's the max, and then you also have 110 C for the bed, which is also, again, going to be pretty fantastic because the bed warms up really fast, especially in this new model. You also have, I would say, fast smart, it's a print speed, so anywhere from 60 to 150 millimeters per second. And then you have a Titan extruder with volcano nozzle with a 0.4 millimeter print nozzle. So again, going to give you a lot of flexibility when it comes to the quality and also the print material that you're working with. So it's ultra quiet printing. Literally, this thing is if you don't have a dedicated room for this and you have to have this in a common space, you'll be fine because you really won't hear it. Now, you can print a variety of materials. You're going to be able to print PLA, ABS, PVA, HIPS. So again, a lot of flexibility because of, again, the temperature that it can print at and also the print bed itself. Now, it does have a synchronized dual Z axis, which also allows for great quality when it comes to prints. You have filament runout sensors and also you have power recovery. So especially when you're printing something like this guy took almost 2 days. It was like a little bit over 22 hours. Yeah, so maybe about 26 hours to print. So, because I had to print this guy a little bit slower. So having that power recovery is really important. And also when you're doing a long print like this, having that filament runout is also key too. Now let's talk about the overall print quality and like what was my experience with this printer. Now this is the second generation of a very well known and used printer in the industry. And because it's so well known and used, there's a lot of printing slicing software that you can use. So you could use Cura, you could use IdeaMaker, and the slicer profiles are already available, which is also really neat. And as you can see here, the first one that we're going to talk about is, again, this pyramid. This pyramid, everything here is using the standard slicer settings. Nothing special, no tweaking. I really want to see and experience a printer right out of the box. I want to be able to power it up, put some filament, load something on a slicer that has a profile, run it, either Cura or IdeaMaker, and then see what kind of quality I can get. Because let's face it, you have people that are experienced 3D printers that are actually getting these devices, and also people that are new to 3D printing. And you want to have the best first experience. So you can see here, really nice print. This print was probably about 2 days to print. We ran it. This is using their standard profile, no setting changes whatsoever, and you can see how nice this model came out. Nice finish on the top and how everything printed really nicely. On the bottom, if we want to look at that first layer, again, because that's like the most important layer, you can see how clean this is. Very, very clean first layer. And overall, I haven't had any print failures yet, which is really, really nice about this printer. I also have several printers, the Generation 1, Generation 2 now, and then also I have Genius, the Genius line. And it's just, they're pretty consistent when it comes to how they print. So this is the first one that we printed. Now the next item that we printed was this guy right here. So let's take a look at him for a couple seconds. Again, nice quality, different type of filament. You can see just the overall quality, really no defects that I could see, right? Standard resolution, right? And when you look at how the tip was finished, everything looks really, really nice. Now we did print some other things, and what we're going to do here, and this is all using just standard PLA, stuff that you would be able to procure in any online store. This skull, silk gold PLA, really, really nice. I still left the supports on there so you can see what it looks like with that. But overall, look how nice this quality is. Again, we'll just turn this around a little bit so you can see what it looks like. The seam is there, obviously. And then this is what the bottom layer looks like. And you see still the support material in here that I haven't removed yet. But when you look at it this way, look how nice that looks. Really, really, really sharp. Pretty cool, huh? Now the last print I want to share with you is this Batman. And this is the 2021 version. And this was printed using a flexible PLA. And I have not cleaned this. No tweaking, using standard PLA settings. I actually sliced this in IdeaMaker using the IdeaMaker profile for the actual artillery Sidewinder 2, right? So I was using that slicer. And I purposely didn't clean it because I wanted you to see how good this is, how little there is to clean. So what we'll do is we'll turn this up right here, make sure that that comes out nicely. And you'll notice that some defects, there's not a lot of supports on this. All I did is, and I'll show you where the supports were. There were some ports here to make sure that I had some good support because of how much this came out. And then also there's supports on the bottom. No internal supports whatsoever. So look, notice how clean this is. You have, again, some defects here that I can clean up. This was, and I'm going to show you which actual material I used. All right, look how clean that is. We'll look at the back. All right, and this is where the seam is. And then look at the inside. And what's so spectacular about this is that all I had were supports here. The supports ran the perimeter all the way around, and you can see the support material still there. And you still need to clean that up. And that was pretty much it. Nothing in the inside. And there was relatively little to no stringing at all. So you can see some of the stringing here that I still left it here. You can see it how it's coming off. So that's all that was there to it, and you see in the inside. And the inside, I don't really care too much about. You can clean that up, and if it has defects, that's fine. The great thing is how well this looks on the outside. So again, when we bring it this way, look how nice that looks, right? And it is flexible. Look at that, right? So this is not TPU. So let me show you the material I used. So I was using this right here. This is a 3D flexible PLA. It is it's supposed to print like PLA using the same settings. So I was using 205, I believe it was. 205 was the temperature of the nozzle, and then the standard bed settings. So 65 is what I typically print in because my room is a little cold. And then, so this is a flexible PLA, and the cool thing about this is that I actually printed two versions of this. Two, and also the cowl with one roll. So again, this is almost like TPU material, and as you can see right here, if I pull it, it has some elasticity to it. I won't pull too much because I want to be able to use what we have here left. But this is what I used in order to get this. And I'm telling you, I'm so happy with this. So especially, you know, being that Halloween, this is definitely cool to have. Now, as you take a closer look at the artillery Sidewinder 2, you'll notice that from a design perspective, it really looks like the previous generation, but it has changes and improvements where it really matters. So first of all, as we mentioned, really, really large print bed. And if I bring back our Batman, you can see how much space there is. I'll bring this a little bit forward right here so you can see. A lot of space here to really work with. Right, so depending on how large you want to print, you really wouldn't have any problem with anything that would be large of that nature. Now, the other thing that you have, which I like, and you can see it here in the back, is an improved, I would say, cabling system that makes it pretty reliable. You know, one of the things that you find with many printers is the constant back and forth that you have of the bed moving back and forth. Damage will typically take place of this cable, and I really like the flat cable design and how that should give you a longer use and lifespan when it comes to your overall experience when it comes to printing. Now, you do have the ability to load, I would say your prints in two ways. You can either use a micro SD or you can use a USB. And you do have the ability to flip between the two inside of the software. Here you have your filament loader. At the top, you also then have your spool as well as your filament detection system. Now I'm going to go show you what the actual experience is like when we go through and we're going to try to print something. So you can hear how much or or maybe you'll not hear anything at all. So I'm going to put this to print. I'm going to confirm. Nice touchscreen, really simple, easy to use. And we should see, I already preheated it, so we should be able to see rather quickly the actual, I would say, leveling methodology or technology that they have, the auto bed leveling. So it's going to go ahead and in a second probe the bed to make sure that it understands what the level is, and then the print will start. So let's check that out. There it goes. And each time it goes down, what it's going to do is it's going to test the bed level. Right? So you'll see the probe will touch the bed. And it's going to do this with every print, just to make sure that you have the best, again, level for your print. It's going to go ahead and now put the first bead of filament down, and then it's going to head and start. That's all there is to it. Pretty fast, the initial print. Now from a noise perspective, the printer runs super duper quiet, and I just wanted to bring in, now I do have some white noise going on, and I'm just going to bring it really close here and then just stay quiet so you can see the overall noise being created by the printer. Right now there's some white noise in my basement. I'm just going to stay quiet for a little bit so you can see. Right, isn't that cool? So quiet like a library. That's how quiet this thing is. So again, if you are going to be running this in a common place or in a place where you don't have a dedicated space, you really don't have to worry because you won't really get a lot of noise. I do have some other printers that when you turn them on, it sounds like you're about to take off. You have other printers that if they're not loud from a cooling perspective, they're loud from a printing perspective. This thing is super quiet. Now for those of you who are curious or aren't really familiar with the Sidewinder series, the filament spool is at the very top, and it does have some really nice rollers that allow the filament spool to move freely. Even though it looks like, you know, that's pretty tight right there, you really don't have to worry about anything. Now I did bypass, just for this presentation, the actual filament detector, which is right there on the side, and then I've disconnected the cord for this. I highly recommend that if you are going to be using this printer, especially if you have some large prints, to make sure that you have that connected, and then all you do is you run the filament through that sensor all the way down, and in the event that it's severed or you run out, it's going to know and it's going to pause. Now the other thing I wanted to highlight about this printer is the cabling system. So the cabling system is really, really clean. You can notice that you have flat cabling here, flat cabling here, flat cabling that comes out here, and really gives you a real nice clean aesthetic. No Bowden tubes, no wiring being exposed. Everything is really nice, clean, and tapered. So guys, that wraps up our review of the Artillery Sidewinder 2. You know, printer that allows you to create fantastic prints for any occasion. I just wish I had this when I was a kid. See you in the next video.